summer of 1959 at the Feather River Inn in the Sierra Nevada mountains. And I, just out of college, have a job that combines being the night desk clerk with helping out with the horse wrangling down at the stables. My boss is Italian-Swiss with European notions about employment. I think he's a fascist who wants peasant employees, and he thinks I'm a good example of how democracy can be taken too far. He and I do not get along. So, one week, the employee menu had been comprised of the same thing for 3 whole days. 2 wieners, a mound of sauerkraut, and stale rolls. To compound insult with injury, the costs of meals were deducted from the employees' salaries. Needless to say, I was outraged. So, it was Friday night of that awful week, and the night auditor had just come on duty, and I decided I was going to go into the kitchen and get a bite to eat. Upon my arrival in the kitchen, I discovered a note to the chef to the effect that wieners and sauerkraut were on the menu for 2 more days.
That tears it! I quit!
For want of any better audience, I unloaded my woes on the night auditor, Sigmund Volin.
I have had it up to here. I am sick and tired of this crap and insulted. Nobody's gonna make me eat wieners and sauerkraut for a whole week and make me pay for it. Who does he think he is? How can life be sustained on wieners and sauerkraut? This is un-American. I don't like wieners and sauerkraut enough to eat it for 1 day, for God's sake. The whole hotel stinks. All the horses are dead, and all the guests are idiots. I'm gonna pack my bags and move to Montana, where people haven't even heard of wieners and sauerkraut, and they wouldn't feed that stuff to pigs.
Something like that. I raved on for about 20 minutes, and I needn't repeat it all here. Y'all get the general gist, right? My monologue was delivered at the top of my lungs, punctuated by blows
on the front desk,
the kicking of chairs,
and much profanity,
a call to arms,
freedoms, unions, uprisings, and the breaking of chains for the working masses.
As I pitched my fit, Sigmund Volin stared at me with sorrowful eyes. Put a bloodhound in a suit and you've got Sigmund Volin. He's got good reason to look sorrowful too. He's a survivor of Auschwitz. 3 years, term in June. He liked the night shift. It gave him intellectual space. What's more than that, he could go into that kitchen whenever he wanted to get a bite to eat. All the wieners and sauerkraut he could dream of. For him, a feast. And even more than that, at the night shift, there was no one to tell him what to do. In Auschwitz, he dreamed of such a time. The only person he saw at work was me. Our shifts overlapped for only an hour. And there I was, the nightly disturber of his dream, a one-man war party at full cry.
Are you finished?
No, why?
Listen, listen. You know what your problem is? It's not the winners, and it's not the crowd, and it's not the rolls, and it's not the chef, and it's not the boss, and it's not this job.
What's wrong with me?
You think you know everything, but you don't know the difference between a problem and an inconvenience. If you break your neck, if you got nothing to eat, if your house is on fire, you got a problem. Everything else is just inconvenience. Life is lumpy. Learn to know the difference between a problem and an inconvenience. You live longer. Would you won't annoy people like me so much? Good night.
another riverman. Sigmund Volman simultaneously kicked my butt and opened a window in my mind. Problem or inconvenience? Because life is lumpy. But a lump in the oatmeal, a lump in the throat, and a lump in the breast are not the same lump. We should all learn to know the difference.